Introduce everybody and start this shindig. Here's a fun fact for you. If you are familiar with virtual programming, or even if you're not, we wanted to be starting our TAO webinars a little more dynamically. So we started playing music. So we were like, this is awesome, particularly at 8:30 in the morning, get people pumped up. And then we were recording them. And then we were trying to upload them to YouTube, which we were doing. And then YouTube let us know kindly that unless we owned the rights to the music, that was called copyright infringement, and we were going to have to take our videos down. So now we play music for the benefit of the folks that are out there early, but before we start our recording, we turn the music off so that we are not violating any kind of copyright laws. So there's your fun fact on a Tuesday. There's your fun fact on a Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah.
My first question is, anybody else struggling to remember what day of the week it is? Okay, just raise your hands in the participant code if you, here. All right, so we'll start this. Welcome to our May 12th version of Meet the Members. It's helpful that I can't remember the day considering it's right in front of me. So I'm going to go through a couple quick ground rules, and then we're going to start this little conversation. So I'll ask Justin if he can go on to the next slide. I think everybody is currently muted and their video is suppressed. We do that just because it can get a little unwieldy to talk over each other, so we're going to have folks remain muted. It's also challenging to video all of that information, download, and then upload it. So from a bandwidth perspective, it's a little easier for us to run these. And then if you have questions, you can use the participant icons, because there's the nonverbal ones where you can raise your hand, say yes, say no, give a thumbs up, etc. In this situation, we have a little bit of a more intimate group, so I'm happy to let people ask their own questions as we go. So if you want to talk, just raise your hand. And if you don't want to talk and you want to send notes to me and Justin in the chat or out to everyone, we're happy to take those too. All right, next slide. Oh, please make sure you give us a mention for doing this on social media. I don't know, Jeff or Suzame, if y'all want to throw your social media handles in the chat right now, that can be super fun. And then throughout the course of the day, we like to see what's trending, and we are live tweeting some of these. I think we're live tweeting all of these. And then a lot of the information you see, or if you want to connect with Jeff or Suzame, you can find them in Mobilize, our member-only platform, which, if you have more questions about, you can reach out to Justin Martinez, who happens to be running staff support for me on this event. Apparently, I'm also a host, which I love. I also really like both of y'all's Twitter handles. Suzame, I'm going to need to know how you got PDX Mama, and Jeff, how you managed to own Eugene Parking as your handles. That's impressive. All right, next slide, because I feel like maybe we should start adding people's Twitter handles when we show their faces. We're going to have Wendy Morgan, the CEO of Shift, and Jonathan Johnson, founder and CEO of Rooted School, who actually is based in New Orleans. He's going to tell us about some programming and school curriculum they're trying to get going up in Southwest Washington. But for today, I am happy to have Suzame, Tong, and Jeff Petry, or at PDX Mama and at Eugene Parking. So we've got our VP of Marketing and Communications from Mammoth HR, Mammoth ThinkHR. You're going to have to clarify that one for me because I'm not quite sure what to say. And then Jeff is the Director of Parking and Administrative Support Services from the City of Eugene. So we will start with a good afternoon, and I'm going to have you, we know your names, but maybe tell us where you are sitting today and perhaps where you are from. And I will start with Jeff.
I am sitting.
Oh, you'll start, Suzame? Go ahead.
I live in Irvington, and we have a 1922 Craftsman that is the money pit that you think it would be, and I'm in our dining room right now.
Fantastic. I know where your house is. Jeff, where are you joining us from today?
I'm doing it in my kitchen, which has the best lighting. instead of my workroom, which is, I call it a cave, a dark light. And the second part of your question, I'm actually from a small town in Ohio called Waldo, Ohio.
Waldo, Ohio. Okay. Like, is that where Waldo lives?
A lot of Waldonians live there, yes.
I had to ask. I had to do it. So your titles we've already seen. They're up there on the screen. But I think it's fun to ask people, like, what do you actually do all day? So Jeff, we'll start with you, and then we'll go back over to Suzame.
Yeah, great question. And I don't know how many parking directors you've had on the TAO webcast.
Like 0.
So I am here to answer any parking complaints you have, or any issues, or anything going on. My job is, like many of you, to solve problems and run a business unit. So from a parking side, I get to talk to a lot of interesting people every day. And when we say interesting, it's usually 2 minutes of irrationality. And we kind of work through the community solution. So from a parking side, the hat that I wear in that piece, we really are community focused, and we do things a little bit differently in Eugene around parking. But my other hats include managing our department's tech team, managing our finance team, my admin team. I'm a director within the City of Eugene and a expansion assignment. And so probably one of the other questions is, why would a parking person be on a technology webcast? And we have made choices in the last recession, in the early 2010, 2012, to go to contactless payments and invest in technology. And through that same time period, we actually invested in art in our community, and it's moved on to a lot of projects we can talk about later on. But the City of Eugene's parking program is an active participant in art and technology in our community.
And I'm gonna pause for a second before Suzame answers, because Jeff is one of the folks we should have been celebrating a couple of weeks ago at the Tech Awards. He was a nominee for one of our individual awards. So one day, Jeff, one day. It may be like this, but we will still celebrate you. All right. Suzame, you also have an interesting, beyond what you do every day, you're kind of in a unique situation of when you started this job.
Right. So hopefully this won't freeze, because this froze a little about 30 seconds ago. So I'll start with the company. So the reason there are two names of two companies is because I have joined an entity that represents two companies that merged last summer, and they're still in the process of integrating. And that leads me to talk about what I do every day, which my career is marked with rebranding. I'm a serial rebrander, and I help companies, find that purpose, message, positioning, and then tell that story to the world, whether it's through PR, social, content, that type of thing. And so right now I'm working with Mammoth HR and ThinkHR to come up with that new company name and brand. But I joined 8 days before a global pandemic was declared. So that has presented really unusual, both challenges and opportunities. Challenges onboarding to a new company, and suddenly shifting to remote when I don't really know anybody yet. And then also just the priorities. So any 30, 60, 90-day plan is not whatever you thought it would be.
That is fair. I will come back. I want to come back to like what each of you are doing right now in your respective organizations from a current state standpoint. But part of why we started doing this, we weren't really able to connect with our members in person. Okay, we aren't able to connect with our members in person. And we were thinking about what is it that people love about our ecosystem, and in particular, like being involved with TAO. And so, Suzame, I know that you are with a member company now, but you have also been with a member company in the past for a long time. So my question is like, why be a TAO member? And then Jeff, the same question, but we'll start with Suzame.
So I've been part of a member company, I think over 4 companies.
Wow, that's awesome. Oh, no. Jeff, are you still there?
I'm here, yep.
We may have lost a little audio.
That
I mean, our first,
to build how you can help each other through that network.
all right. Suzanne, you cut out at the very beginning, so I think we might suppress your video so that we can hear whatever it was you were going to say. That was so amazing.
Oh, okay.
Try again.
Okay, so I've been part of a member company over probably 4 different jobs in here in Portland. And the thing that stands out to me is community and the network of support that you get no matter what stage your company is in, whether you're really small or whether you've actually matured and even gone through IPO and are able to provide that advice, the guidance, the connection, the resources, the network. That has persisted, I think, through all the companies I've been at that have been part of TAO.
I really love that, and the community theme keeps coming up. And then, Jeff, you're really interesting because you're a member, but also a community partner, and like you work for a government. So like that's a little bit different than someone that's looking for business development opportunities or trying to hire. So, you know, why be a part of the association?
Yeah, we value our partnership with TAO as the City of Eugene has revitalized our downtown core. Our municipal gigabit fiber we were able to install in downtown. We relied heavily on TAO to help with our business recruitment and branding and marketing to bring good paying jobs to our community. When I think about the economic health of our community, we have a very low per capita income metric of all the cities in Oregon, the major cities. We viewed technology and what technology can help us pivot to a resiliency that we're in the mode right now for our community to make it a better place to live.
That's awesome. What is a favorite TAO memory? I'm going to start with you, Jeff.
I have a lot. So I've been fortunate to have a challenge accepted in every TAO hackathon in Eugene for the last 5 years.
Yep.
And all those opportunities to work with the tech community, work with designers, work with creative types, I think goes towards creating that creative spirit that we talk about in Oregon and in Eugene. So a lot of my memories play all that. And there was a hackathon about 5 years ago where a product came out to help homeless youth in our community find resources, toothbrush, food, good people. And that was instrumental as we talk about homelessness and people experiencing homelessness. And it's such a huge challenge to try to get your head around that we, in one of our facets, we decide we can make a difference in youth life. So we right now we focus on high schoolers. And that program's working very well. And one of the projects that I'm working on is in this year's hackathon, hopefully we get to it, was to do a choose your own adventure story for middle schoolers to find resources in our community. So we will do that project.
We will have a hackathon. It may be delivered completely virtually, but we will have one.
Awesome.
All right, Suzanne, across 4 companies, what's your favorite memory? You may have some interesting ones.
You know, I don't know. It's I won't say that. Yeah, I won't share the recent one where I got to accept the PDX Impact Amplification Award, and earlier this year in the before pandemic times, because that's too easy.
Too easy. That's too easy.
A few years ago, the former CEO of Puppet, Sanjay Merchandani, was your host for the awards, and I helped him with his speech. And in the process of doing that, did a lot of research into, I think, your keynote, who heads the digital library, program, and I just learned so much about the digital divide and how much is happening here. Like, so you think about the digital divide globally, but it was eye-opening to appreciate what's still separating us. It's more apparent during this time when kids can't go to school. But I gained a real appreciation when I was helping with pulling together those remarks for him. How much is being done is how much still needs to be done here.
Yeah, that's really cool. And while this only applies to the Portland metro area, we will be partnering with Free Geek here in the next couple of weeks to do a device drive. And so, Jeff, if you have ideas for us where we can do that work down in Lane County, we're all ears.
Great.
I'm going to ask a pre-submitted audience question, and there's one for each of you. So, all right. Jeff, you have been opening doors through your Wired initiative. What is the latest wins? Plus, what is your engagement level with small businesses? This is a three-part question. And any new initiatives today and into the future? Suzame, your one question also has two parts. So, Jeff, opening doors through your Wired initiative, which you kind of alluded to, the revitalization of Eugene. So what's the latest wins with that? And then the engagement with small business, which I know you have some perspective on, and then new initiatives into today and the future.
Yeah, I think when I think about our biggest win was when we were able to complete the downtown dark fiber project in our downtown core in Eugene. And from that has been kind of an organic springing up of businesses and people and a whole different economic base in our downtown core that has also fueled retail, has fueled housing downtown. So as we led up to this event, Eugene was kicking on all gears. And actually the hardest question that was posed to me is, where is everybody going to park? We just had huge wait lists and large buildings being proposed downtown, and they're still on the books. I think everyone's kind of patiently waiting through that process. Our small business outreach, we feel that's one of the areas that we can really grow our community, and I think this event will help us repurpose what that means. I think you'll see a lot of entrepreneurship ideas that come through that. We have a whole team in my department that are focused on small business outreach and hoping to make contact. So if you are a small business or want to hear from us, we have people that want to talk to you personally, one-on-one or web meeting. And then going forward, one of the projects that I'm helping to lead is our City of Eugene Smart City project. And we just started work on the project, and we're City of Eugene's a 1,500 employee organization. We're looking internally to make sure that we understand our strategies and our goals around what a smart community will look like. We'll be reaching out to our partnerships. I was really excited to see the data science meeting coming up soon. That was perfect timing for us. So we're really excited about that. We feel like there's a lot of great things happening here. Our community has been geared up for what was the 2021 World Championships. Now is the 2022 World Championships. And if you haven't seen some pictures of what Hayward Field looks like nowadays, it looks like something out of Rocket League to me. It looks like an arena that's video game based, and it's wonderful. And it's interesting to see the U.S. Olympic trials that we've hosted since 2008. We now refer that to as a smaller event as we plan to prepare for the world to come to Oregon and Eugene. I think the long term is that we're still prepared to host the world in 2022. And the question is, how do we showcase our community, our state, and our tech partners while the world comes to us?
Well, we will definitely like to be a part of that, and I can tell you as a runner, from the moment I've moved to Oregon, my spare rooms have been booked for that event. So I'm not sure if I even get to attend, but I have a lot of people that are going to fly in to support. So it's really exciting. Jeff, thank you for that. Suzame, here's your question. So I'm just going to go with Mammoth because your other name is really long. So what is the main thrust of Mammoth's business model currently? And do you partner with others to maximize client benefits? And if yes, how so?
Okay. I appreciate that question. There's a lot in there. So first off, I think it's safe to say that many of us have had a negative experience with HR, and it's really viewed as a workplace policy type of function that, you know, you either, don't think about it, you don't care about it, or else, you take it for granted. But as the result of the pandemic, a function of HR come to the forefront. So when you think about all the issues with health and safety, protocols for working from home, layoffs, furloughs, leaves of absence, benefits, all of those things, including and not the least of employee engagement, it's really critical right now. And large companies have the staff and the expertise to facilitate this in terms.
Oh, we might have lost you for a second. Oh, we're right at the meet, Suzame. Where'd you go? Come back.
More than 300,000 employers across the country and focused on businesses with 5 to 500 employees.
All right, we lost a little bit of that large companies can do a lot from a employee engagement standpoint. And you're really focusing on companies that are more like 50 to 300, and there was something maybe in the middle that we didn't quite get.
Yeah. So the smaller companies, they don't really necessarily appreciate that HR exists. So we focus, we deliver technology-enabled solutions and HR subject matter expertise to those smaller businesses that have 5 to 500 employees. And we operate primarily in a channel partner model. So working closely with insurance, payroll, and the like, to bundle our services. So I think that addressed the question overall about, in terms of maximizing client's benefit, I guess, instead of going a la carte and trying to get this on your own, bundling us with something you need that's also necessary, like insurance and payroll, is a way that we are more effectively reaching and supporting small businesses.
Was that part of your strategic plan or vision prior to this, or is that something that kind of has evolved in the last 90 days?
The channel partner aspect has always been there.
Mm-hmm.
And that, one of our clients alone has, I think, 1 million.
$1 million something? Oh no, connectivity issues are real. The challenge of the virtual world. Okay, she may be back. Suzame, are you back?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can now.
Okay. Yeah, I can't tell when I'm connected or not right now.
We have a question. 1 million what? 1 million what? That's what everyone wants to know.
So 1 million small businesses, are, 1 million small businesses are amongst the clients of one of our partners. So when we connect with those, that's a much greater reach than if we tried to do this on our own.
That is awesome. What a great opportunity right now. I'm going to ask Jeff, I think we're all talking through the challenges, but what have you sort of seen as an opportunity? I mean, you are running something that most people aren't taking advantage of right now. Parking is a little bit easier to come by in most of the places that I've been in the last 8 weeks, which are like my house and my office building. So what are your opportunities that you're seeing?
We've repurposed our staff to support our grab-and-go businesses around the community, and they're providing a lead role in that area. When I think about my parking hat, we focus on 2 types of, actually our goals are to enhance economic activity and neighborhood livability, which does not talk about parking tickets or meter revenue, but it's really how to deliver a better community. And so we are looking at those opportunities. We have staff that are on our homeless outreach teams, We have staff that are providing security in neighborhoods by driving around reporting. And we have a wide gamut of other programs that we're looking to go forward with. And I think about our smart community hat, we've added the word resiliency, and I think it's kind of changed. For us, it's always been a Cascadia event. And I believe this event's changed our perspective about how do we form those stronger partnerships with our school districts, our community colleges, our university, to deliver remote learning and helping our workers get remote ability to work. So from the City of Eugene, we were able to pivot within a week or two to our building permit department stayed open. We're still paying our bills. We're still doing our work, and we were able to do that fairly quickly, which I think is probably not expected out of a larger government organization.
I like that. We talked to some other members earlier this morning, and we were talking about leadership tenets and what you were really focused on. And the question came up, well, no one seems to be focused on long-term vision and strategic plan. And the point was made that if your long-term vision and strategic plan were solid, that you really shouldn't have to change much of it. You're pivoting your activities, your tactics are different, but you articulated that so beautifully. You're still meeting your strategic plan goals. All right. So before we do our, ending, where we're going to talk about our hats, because Jeff is like ready to go, I can already tell. Last question, back to TAO-centric or TAO, we go by both. If you were to encourage somebody to join, what would you say? And we will go with Suzame first.
All right. I would say that there's such a diverse, when you think about technology, then Jeff is the perfect example. It's not what you would assume or expect. And there's such a broad set of expertise and perspectives available as part of the membership that the meeting and building these relationships and building that network out, especially when you talk about Portland or, specifically for me, at least being a small town, it gets even smaller and even in a good way that amplifies. It's not intuitive, but when you make those connections tighter, and that's what the TAO membership, I think, enables us to do, you become more powerful both as a professional in your career and as well as on behalf of your company.
I love that. Jeff, why join? And don't say so you can volunteer for all the hackathons, because that is an answer.
Absolutely. I think for me, our acting city manager, as she leads us through this event, she talks about finding your purpose in life. She defines purpose as between talent and passion. Your purpose is out here. And I feel the TAO members and all the wonderful people I've met are passionate, and they're talented. They found their purpose. For me, it's just been another path to forming great communities.
Y'all just made me so proud to work here, and I love this community so much. I'm so thankful to be a part of it. So now we end with our hats, and I have to say, as the host of this every week, it's shocking how many hats I own. So, it's your literal hat, it's your figurative hat. If you follow me on LinkedIn, I decided I was going to go with one of my running visors for a couple of reasons. One, this was the last marathon I ran this year, and it may be the last marathon I run ever. That remains to be seen, and I also am wearing it as a small political nod because I am safe that I can go and run without fear of my life, and so I am going to support my running hat today. So, Suzame, we're going to go right in order because I have a feeling Jeff is going to destroy all of us, so I'm going to let you go next.
Okay. Well, I don't know if anyone can see me, really, but we
can see you.
I'm going to surprise you, Cara.
Oh my God, that is a surprise. That is a big surprise.
I told her the other day that I didn't have a hat that I cared about. So this is a chef's hat from the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, New York. I've been to 2 of their boot camps. I love to cook and bake. And I also do that as a volunteer for our local church to feed the homeless. And right now I'm wearing this because I want to remind everybody that we're more conscious than ever about not just having to fend for ourselves because restaurants are closed, but restaurants are in crisis. and support your local restaurant, your local farmer, get your groceries, you know, from a local, you know, company like Milk Run, you know, just, you know, think about how you can help.
I love that. That was really unexpected, and what a great hat to be wearing. Like Jeff?
Yeah, that's so inspiring, Suzanne. One of the things that I do in my free time, I've counted up that I have 2 middle school kids, and I've spent the last 8 years with my 8th grader and 6 years with my 6th grader coaching each of them in 4 sports a year through our local nonprofit called Kid Sports. They're repurposing Civic Stadium into a civic park and a new field house there. So I have a hat that I think it's my favorite, but it's also the most comfortable I've been in for 9 years. My Twitter handle of Coach Petry. I think we've counted 500 hours a year and some 800 kids I've coached over the last 9 years.
That is awesome. Wow, all your hats are community, even the ones that are related to your family. That is super inspiring. Y'all are great. Thank you both for taking the time to do this. Thanks for your support, and thanks for everything you do for the community. I am very honored to be working with and for you, so thank you. Suzame, you don't live that far from me, and now that I know you're a good cook, I will maybe be literally running by and
Come on by.
I'd love some baking treats. And with that, we're going to set everybody free for the afternoon, and have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next week. And don't forget to follow these folks on Twitter, find them on LinkedIn, and when you see them at some point in person, they'd be happy to maybe wave, or at some point we'll shake hands again. But everybody have a great day. Stay safe, healthy, and as sane as possible.
Thank you.